We're now going to move on to the second Macbeth script, which you've got is S2 at the top of the paper. Again, same AO focus as the previous one, but obviously you'll notice a distinct difference in the standard that's seen in this one. I mean, it does start by discussing relationships, which is what we want to see within the script.
Yeah.
I mean, what were your, Lynn, maybe first, what were your general feelings on this particular response?
Well, of course, we start with this introduction, don't we, to the question. But then I thought it moved into a little bit of narrative. It didn't seem that there was much focus on the assessment objective for this one. Of course, we've got quite a long quotation towards the bottom of this first page here. You know, call them, let me see them. And then there's a reference relating to the question about the control. I say very little in the way of focus on the assessment objective at all. It then moves on to the second page where actually I noticed that they actually repeat the use of the quotation given on the first page. Indeed, it's just 3 lines from the extract used, so it's repeated. It is actually repetitive in nature in some of the points. I thought there's a little bit of, some valid interpretation. I've written in my notes here, it's not using the extract enough. Clearly, it's only the 3 lines. There's not enough close analysis of language, form, structure, which is the AO.
Yeah, I'd certainly, as a PE on this paper, I would be expecting to see the use of, say, things like word classes. Can the candidate mention what a particular noun is or verb? I mean, obviously it's not driven solely by terminology the whole way through, but maybe mentioning things like different types of sentences, you know, a short sentence or a rhetorical question, or, you know, expecting a little bit more closer focus on the language that has been used at the expense of retelling what's going on in the extract. To really justify that mark for the language form structure.
Yeah, I think you're right. Although I do think we have to be very, very careful not to feature spot. You know, this is a verb, therefore it's useful.
Yes. Why is it useful?
Why is it useful? I think you have to explain why. Yeah. But I do agree with Lynn. There is little concrete focus on the text itself. It's very narrative. It lacks depth. We only have that one quotation, and then that's repeated, isn't it? Yeah. It only looks actually at Macbeth and the witches. There's nothing to talk about the apparitions, which so it doesn't focus on the demands of the question itself. I think the only one word which I picked up as a sort of a vaguely technical term is demanding. Macbeth demanding the witches.
He does say he answer his questions, which I've actually marked as an attempt at, you know, structural focus.
That's right.
What did you think? Level 2.
Yeah.
I would have thought level 2. It ticks all the boxes for level 2. It's largely descriptive. There is some comment, isn't there, on the language. I mean, perhaps, you know, very little, but and there is very limited use of relevant sort of terminology. I mean, so I only picked up the demand and the question.
Fit level 2.
Yeah, I would have put level 2. I wouldn't move. I don't know. I might consider level 3, but I think
it's pushing it
I think we're pushing it a little bit, being a little bit too generous.
Yeah, because I mean, the mark scheme says that relevant subject terminology is used to support examples, whereas level 2 is more limited. And I think the fact that you said the word limited kind of you hit it there. It was awarded 8, so we did place it at the top of 2 because we felt there was sufficient there to really justify it at the top of level 2. But again, being driven by the mark scheme, it's not.
I think that's not fair. It's very fair mark.
Okay, excellent. So if we just have a look at part B of this particular question, again, we're looking for the candidate going out of extract, looking at control. And the main, I mean, the opening obviously straight away shows an awareness,
yes,
because they
good,
mention Lady Macbeth taking control over Macbeth and pressurising him into doing the murder. And, you know, it goes on to consider, you know, sort of his destiny to be king, Lady Macbeth's control over Macbeth. You know, there is an understanding of the extract.
Of the play itself, yes. And the theme.
There is an attempt at, you know, using a quotation. I mean, obviously they don't have to quote it exactly, it can be paraphrased for this part. So an awareness of the wider text is obviously important here. I like the idea that she questions his manhood. It's unclear sometimes.
Yeah, I was wondering whether that part, have you noted that?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, the where it says, she also says to him that she will measure her love for him on whether he goes through with her plan. Obviously, I know that you know, she threatens, doesn't she, that if she was a man, she would do it. She would dare do it. She would pluck the baby from her teeth, the breast, and dash his brains out. But you know, I would have liked more there, sort of unpicking that a bit, because I'm not quite sure where it's referring to.
We're left to do the work, and I'm not quite sure what the candidate.
There's only one quotation, although
that's right. Yeah.
I know it's closed book, and you know, understandably, we can't expect lots of quotations, but more referencing would have helped this one.
Definitely.
Or specific examples. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be quotes, does it?
No.
It's particular examples or particular areas of the play or the text.
Yes.
How did you feel about context? Because obviously we're looking at how it reflects the society, we're looking at how it may be interpreted by a modern day audience as opposed to the Shakespearean society of the time. What were your feelings on that? Because obviously that's
got the role
two
of
bullets
women.
for those.
We've got the role of women, and there is reference to the plays to show to the audience or the readers. So there is reference to somebody receiving the play,
audience awareness.
Although that, again, it's not developed.
Yep.
But then the candidate does carry on to say that the woman's path to power was only through her husband. If that had been said within the 16th century or within the time of James VI or something like that, just to make that a little bit more specific. But I think it's there, so we've got that when the play was written and the position of women at the time.
There's not enough examples, is there?
No. I mean, it does highlight the difference with Lady Macbeth was a woman of her time period, which is obviously what we're looking for with this. But again, there's that lack of exemplification and more extended contextual discussion, I think, really, for it to go. I mean, it was a level 2. I felt it was a really good example of a level 2. It achieved an 8 marks as well.
I'll be 100% behind that. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I was thinking in 7 or 8.
Yeah,
So,
excellent. Okay.
Yeah,
Lovely. Thank you.
that's good.